And the cost of that lie is your freedom. If you're over 40 and still renting everything, your time, your tools, your platform, your everything, your paycheck, this might be the most uncomfortable truth you'll ever hear this year. But it might save your future, because renting is no longer just about houses and apartments. Renting has become a lifestyle, a mindset, a silent thief of your destiny. And you need to understand some bit of history, because I always feel that one of the most important subjects every person, every child should learn is history. History holds so much wisdom that everyone should spend significant amounts of time learning history. History of the world, history of the continent, history of Europe, of America, of Africa. History always has very, very deep keys. And then the history of humanity actually started with when man was made. Man was originally given dominion over creation. Dominion over creation. Everything that was made, even given dominion over the physical laws, which is why today we fly the airplane, because we understand gravity, which is why today we have all kinds of lighting systems and all kinds of optical equipment, all kinds of medical equipment, because we have dominated some little bit of the physical and biological and chemical sciences. Man was never originally intended to dominate fellow man. Man was never created to dominate another man. But over time, since the times of Cain and Abel, the human systems have somehow degenerated to a system where some men exercise dominion or domination over fellow men. That is how the master-slave system started. That was how feudalism started, and then you had lords and serfs. That is how, after the industrial, within the industrial age, we started having employers and laborers, employees. And that is how today we have come to discuss the topic of tonight. That was how the idea and the concept of have and have nots started, because the world has ultimately been split into the haves and the have nots. We see it all around. It's inescapable. That's inescapable reality. Our world today is divided into the haves and the have not. And there's a whole lot to do with this thing I'm discussing. There's a whole lot to do with renting. Let me even begin by asking you, with that little bit of context, you have owners and you have renters, or like my American friends would say, renters. So you have owners and you have renters. Who do you think are the haves and who do you think are the have-nots? Type it into the comment section, because this is very, very important context to what we are discussing tonight. And so tonight is not just going to be a mindset shift for you. It's not just going to be a mindset shift. It's not just going to be like a self-improvement motivational video. It's going to be motivational, but it's also going to be mathematical and real. Yeah, that's correct. Rich David, you said it. The owners have, and then the renters, they are the have-nots. And it will shock you that I won't be exaggerating that if I say that 95% of humanity die as renters and very few owners. You see it all around us. I was in a hotel the other day in Victoria Island with so many floors. One of the 5-star hotels there. I was having a program there. And I looked at the skyline of Lagos and saw all the amazing architectures and the amazing buildings surrounding the landscape. Very fantastic buildings. Now, Lagos has at least 25 to 30 million people. But in that island, in Victoria Island, that skyline, if you count the number of the people who own it, they won't be up to 50. Maybe 50 is even an exaggeration. There won't be up to 50 people who own those massive. 50 is a lot. Maybe 20 people out of 30 million people. So you see it everywhere. Owners versus renters, haves versus have-nots, masters versus slaves. So you've got to be aware of the historical significance and the historical context to what we are talking about tonight. And this will totally rewire your brain, because if you are over 40 and you still rent everything, you're still renting everything, this is what this video tonight will do. It will rewire your brain. You need to share this video after this with your spouses, with everybody who is connected to you. Otherwise, what is happening to most humanity will happen to the people you love, and that is dying as renters. Okay, so let's talk about the problem that nobody's talking about this thing. Nobody's talking about it. But these are the subjects that we should be screaming from the rooftops. Renter mentality is the virus of modern poverty. Please type it. And I'm going to tell you exactly, hang on to the end of this video, because I'm going to tell you exactly what to do about it. You don't need $1 million. You don't need $1 million whatever. You don't even need $10, because what I'm going to do for you tonight is to totally rewire your brain and make that mindset shift. And you will wake up a totally different person once this mindset shift that I'm doing tonight happens to you. So stick around. Okay, so you can type it in the comment section. Renter mentality is the virus of modern poverty. Behind, like 100% of modern poverty, underlying modern poverty, is the renter's mentality. No matter where in the world you live. Okay, so you rent the roof over your head. You rent your income by trading your time for wages. You're literally renting your existence, because if you don't trade or rent your skills or rent your time, you won't eat. And so it's just survival every time. You rent your hustle on platforms that you don't control. So sometimes I'm following some people who are really very good. And then once in a while they come out and say, oh, this account have been lost. I had 3 million people in this account, and I woke up and then it was gone. And they have to start all over again. And then I know people, creators, who have lost 2-3 accounts on TikTok, on Instagram, and different places. And then you see, because you're renting that platform, your entire lifetime work, maybe it has taken you 5 or 10 years to build on that platform, but because you're renting it, the owner wakes up one day and decides, okay, oh no, this thing you're talking about is against our policy, whatever it is. They wipe you off with all the 3 million, 5 million followers, and that is gone. Am I connecting? Am I communicating? Just type connecting. Let me know. Type connecting. This is a coaching session. I always like to have this engagement to just make sure that, you guys are following me. Just, if you are connecting, just type connecting in the comment section. Okay? And then again, excellent. So connecting. So again, you rent attention to algorithms. You're renting your attention. And do you know that one of the most important things you own for your personal sovereignty is your attention? Because what you pay attention to grows in your life. But you see, you're renting your attention to algorithms on social media. And that's why you scroll for one day. You scroll for 6 hours, and some teenagers and 20s, people in their 20s, scroll, even in their 30s, even in their 40s. Some ladies scroll for up to 10 hours a day. They're constantly on Instagram scrolling, TikTok scrolling, Facebook scrolling, renting their attention. And then, you see, scrolling does not pay money. Scrolling is not a business model. So you're just renting your attention to the algorithm. Yes, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's what Yusuf is saying. It's absolutely ridiculous. A human being scrolls, looking at comedy skits, laughing, getting entertained for 2 hours. Do you know what 2 hours of your life mean that you will never recover? I think we need to think deep. Okay, and then worst of all, you're renting your future because you don't own anything that pays you back. So you're renting your future. Your future is already gone before it arrived. Because you don't have anything that pays you back. And you don't even have anything that will sponsor your future. Yeah. And Nelson says, painful part is paying for the distraction in cash and life. Absolutely. Because you buy data. You subscribe to the internet to pay to waste your life through scrolling. And it doesn't pay you back. We need deep thinking. So you see, poverty is not the lack of cash. It's not the lack of money. Poverty lies under these things these conversations I'm having. And then financial struggle also lies under these things I'm having conversation. It's not about money. So let me say something uncomfortable. If you're over 40 and you own no assets, no systems, no income machines, you are not aging into wealth. You know what you're aging into? You are aging into financial homelessness. I don't know if you've ever heard anybody say this to you before, but that's true. If you're over 40 and still renting, and you don't have assets, you don't have systems. I have been stressing systems, wealth machines. I've been stressing that in this YouTube channel. The whole of YouTube is, if anybody has been talking about systems, for systemizing your wealth, putting structure to your money, it's me. Because it happened to me. I didn't have structure. And especially if you're over 40, if you're struggling with money, with your finances, and you're over 40, you're in your 50s, you're in your 60s, and some of you in your 70s who listen to me, I thank you. Many of you in your 70s, you reach out to me. You watch me every day, and then one of you sent me a message. You're saying 74. You want to participate in the Financial Fitness Challenge. I was encouraging you. I was really motivated. And then saying kudos to this lady at 74. She's hungry. She comes to watch this. She's hungry to grow at 74 because it's never late. So the reason that we struggle in our 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s and beyond is that we don't have machines. Many of us in our 60s, the only thing that looks like machine that we are looking at is our pension. But you and I know that pension is nothing. Pension is going nowhere because, especially in this part of the world, with the hyperinflation and then the double twin of devaluation of currency, many of you, your pension cannot even carry you for 1 week. And so, because there are no systems. So, if you don't have assets, you don't have systems, you are not aging into wealth. You are aging into financial homelessness. Yeah. Because your asset and systems are supposed to be the financial house, apartments, and luxury buildings that you live in your old age. But you don't have it. And so the financial homelessness is real. If you haven't heard that term before, please type it in the comment section. Financial homelessness. Now, the system told you Many lies. The system told you, just work hard and everything will fall into place. How far? Like we ask in Africa. So how far? How far with that? And then they say renting gives you flexibility. That's what we are told. And some people even advertise it and they tell, oh, don't own, rent. They say it gives you flexibility. And they say buying is okay, just buy. So it's okay to live paycheck to paycheck. Everyone does it. But here is what they didn't tell you. Here is what the system didn't tell you. They didn't tell you that every month you pay rent, someone else builds equity. Did they tell you that? They didn't tell you that every time you lease comfort, you lose control. Did they tell you that? You know, there was an outrage was it 2-3 years ago, when we had that unfortunate fire incident in Maui, in Hawaii. And then there were all these pieces of information coming out as how the billionaires owned vast estates in Maui and in other parts of Hawaii. They mentioned some names. And then one particular billionaire, her own property was never burnt by fire and things like that. And then these rich people are still going in there, buying up real estate in different parts of the world. What do they know? But they will tell you, oh, no, just pay rent. Renting gives you flexibility. But they are busy buying up and owning those buildings that you are renting. They didn't tell you that every time you consume, you fund someone else's freedom. Every time you buy that bottle of soda, I don't want to mention all those famous brands. You buy it and drink it. Some of you tell me, oh, I drink 3 bottles of that's something every day. I take it with meal. A woman even says she takes up to 5. She must have 5 bottles of that thing every day. 5 bottles. I don't even know, because I don't take that soda. I've not taken soda or anything artificial like that for over 22, 23 years right now. But somebody says that she drinks up to 5. She drinks 2 bottles of that soda for with a meal. That's terrible. So you think you are free because you have access. You have access to that building. But you're not free. You are just a well-dressed tenant in someone's empire. And so our brain confuses having access to the building that we are renting to ownership. No, brain, rewire, because that's not what it is. Our brains can deceive us. You think because you're living in that beautiful estate, living in that beautiful house, you dress well, tie up in the morning, enter your fine vehicle. And then, of course, the estate is gated, it's got security, and then you have the access card. You know, the sense of pride you feel when you are driving in and you just place your access card on the whatever, the chip, and then the gate opens for you. You're driving. But you are a renter. Access does not mean ownership. Please don't deceive yourself. Access does not mean ownership. So, in summary, there are 2 kinds of people in this world. 2, not 3. 2. The owners, they are the ones who own machines that make the money. Owners. And the renters, they consume what owners produce. Do you see the difference? The owners make they own machines that make money. The renters consume what the owners produce. That's unfair advantage. Who do you think is going to win? Owner or renter? Who do you think is going to win? So, the rich own the soda company, the poor drink the soda. The rich own the building, the poor pay rent. The rich own the platform, the poor post for free. The rich own systems, the poor rent time. And do you know the saddest part? Most people spend their whole lives being number two, the renters, while deceiving themselves, thinking that they are on the way, on their path to number one. And then you can never protest your way as a wage owner, as a wage earner. There's nothing like wage owner. You're a wage earner. You can never protest your way. Labor union and all this, we no go gree, we no go gree. Let's carry placard. We are the 99%. We are fighting for our rights. You're wasting your time. The only thing you need to do is rewire your mind today to cross over to the ownership realm, to the ownership kingdom. Because it's going to remain the way it is. There will always be owners and there will always be renters. And then the most important thing you can do for yourself and for your loved ones is to become owner. Owners have sovereignty. Owners have, owners can sleep. Keep sleep. They sleep and they make money while they are sleeping. But renters can't do that because you must wake up and go hustle so that you can pay your monthly rent. Okay, so let me start rewiring your brain with this truth bomb. You ready for it? You don't get rich from working hard. You get rich from owning things that keep working when you stop. Let that sink for a while. Let that sink for a while. Let that sink, please. You don't get rich from working hard or working many jobs. Many of you watching me from America, from UK, you have 2-3 jobs. You work 2-3 jobs. You work hard. Yet you've been working 3 jobs, 2-3 jobs for the past 5-10 years. And yet you're not rich. That's not how to be rich. Creating wealth involves leverage. If you don't have leverage, no matter your speed or your hustle or the effort that you put in, that's how people toil until they die. So ownership is the difference. Ownership is the leverage for wealth. Ownership is the difference between surviving and scaling, between being used by the system or building your own. Because if you don't have your own system, you must be slave to another system. Period. I don't know how many of you have ever gone to a casino. I don't. I haven't. The one thing I know, a couple of times I've watched movies from casino or even people who go to do this betting and people who do, there's a lot of betting going on. It's an addiction with many youth in Africa. Everywhere you go, you see all these bet people are betting. And I laugh because you can never make as much money as the owner of the casino. There's no way you can make as much money, even a fraction of the money that the owner of the gaming platform makes. He makes a ton, like every day. And then maybe in 1 year, you just get 2 wins, 2 lucky numbers. And then 2 lucky numbers in this part of the world. By the time they give you an equivalent of $500, that's a lot of money. You scream and all that. But for that $500, you do not know how much you put in for 365 days. And then they just give that to you to give your brain a little dopamine to keep coming, to bet. And some of you have sold your cars to bet. I know the stories. You're telling me. Some of you have used your school fees. Some students have used school fees that their parents gave them to bet. Some people have borrowed lots of money to bet. And you never get. Where is that money going? To the owner of the casino, to the owner of the gaming system. So you're either going to be an owner of a system, or you are going to work your head off for someone who owns a system. Okay, so let me show you how renting shows up in your life. Because when I say renting, I'm talking more about the psychology. I'm not just talking about houses and apartments. It's more like I'm talking about the lifestyle and the mindset and the bigger implication of the renting mindset. It is a very terrible mindset. And like I've already told you, it is the DNA of poverty. The renting is the, don't forget anything I've said tonight. If you forget anything, don't forget that one. Renting mentality, the renting mindset is the DNA of financial struggle, is the DNA of poverty. Okay, so renting shows up, renting a salary instead of owning equity. Renting content views instead of owning an email list or platform. So my partner and I are building email list because the owners of this platform can wake up one day and kick me out and say they don't like what I'm saying, that it doesn't align. And some of you need to notice that in 2020, some of you who didn't believe in what was going on in that year, you were all kicked out of their platforms. I was kicked out of, I don't want to mention those platforms, but I was kicked out of 3 platforms. They blocked me, kicked me out. Because I was saying, no, I don't believe it. It's not true. I'm a biologist and I understand what you guys are talking about. And in fact, my major in my first degree was on genetics, cytogenetics. So all those things that they were doing in 2020, I was online. And so for some of you who followed me in 2020, you saw how I was bullied and taken off the platforms. So they may wake up one day and say, okay, no, we don't want you again. But if I have an email list, I can still continue to communicate with you. That's why it's important. When I start building my email list, I will let you know. You better get on that list. Then there's also renting your voice to companies instead of licensing your ideas. You're just there renting your voice. That's actually what employee is. Instead of licensing your ideas. And then you rent bank credit instead of owning investment capital. You also rent convenience instead of building systems. So everything you rent is someone else's cash flow machine. Type that in the comment section. Everybody, everything you rent is someone else's cash flow machine, not your own. Type it. Everything you rent is someone else's cash flow machine. Yes, everything you rent is someone else's cash flow machine. Absolutely. So if you don't own something that makes you money while you sleep, you will work until you die. That's what Warren Buffett said. And if anybody should know better, it is Warren Buffett. If you don't own something that makes money while you sleep, you will work until you die. It's not a curse, it's reality. So let me tell you about the ownership ladder, because it's not too late to flip the script. It's not too late. So here is how you can reclaim ownership step by step. I'm going to give you 6 steps, 6 things you can do. They are very, very practical. And by the way, we don't have financial fitness challenge next month. But many of you have been asking me to send you payment details to join. So what we have done is to create a wait list for the next financial fitness challenge, which is coming up in September. And if you're watching this after September, the wait list is still important for you because we hold it every month. It's just that in the month of August, I'm taking a rest from live programs and also from the financial fitness challenge. That's my mentorship group. So occasionally I publish worksheets accompanying these sessions in the group. So take advantage and join the wait list so that as soon as it is time for the next cohort, you will get the enrollment information first and get a chance to enroll first before other people. And then in the wait list, you get a chance to receive free worksheets from me that's not available. To join the Telegram wait list, the link is in the description section of this video. It's already there. So all you're going to do is that immediately after this, in the next couple of minutes, click on that link and join the wait list. Do not miss this instruction I've just given you, because it's not just enough to teach you all these things every day. You also need to be able to convert it into building systems. What makes my financial fitness challenge, which is my mentorship group, different from any other challenge in the world, is that the focus is on building system, not just chaos. You're not just learning about stock market, crypto. I'll start teaching crypto later in the year. I'm learning under a very powerful mentor right now. And then most of those lies I was told about crypto, most of those things that were not clear, they're becoming clearer. And then in the financial fitness challenge, you'll be getting some drips of some of these lessons. So make sure you join the wait list immediately after this. It's in the description of this video. Okay, so this is how you reclaim ownership step by step. Step number 1, own your time. Please type it as I say it. This is critical. Own your time. Your time is your life. Your time is probably the most important thing you own when it comes to your destiny. Your time is your destiny. And this is why anyone who wastes your time is actually your enemy. Because anybody wasting your time is directly wasting your life. Is directly wasting your life. Okay, so own your time. Stop selling it blindly. Use it to build income skills. Remember, I told you in one of the sessions that skills and knowledge are the new retirement asset, retirement account. Skills. I'm telling you, skills. Skills are the new retirement account. They're the new and the most reliable pension system. Your pension will peter out in the next 30 to 40 years. What they are giving you right now, in the next 10 years, won't buy you water for the week. But your skill, even one skill like AI, like learning to use AI to make money, which is the next lesson in the Financial Fitness Challenge that I'm going to publish next week. That skill alone can feed you for the rest of your life. The investment skills you learn today and practice in the stock market can feed you and feed the generations after you. I was just talking with a company today. We're talking about legacy account. And then there's something we are discussing to set up. When we set it up, I will let you know so that you can profit about it. You also need to think about legacy so that you continue to earn money for generations after you. And so we are discussing what is called living trust. The point I'm making is stop selling your time blindly. Sometimes we sell our time unconsciously. We sell it to TV. We sell it to European soccer championships. We sell it to NBA. We sell it to Netflix. We sell our time blindly and uselessly. Any use of your time that doesn't return something is a total useless waste of your time. Number 2, own a platform. I've already said something like that. Stop just being a consumer of YouTube content, of Facebook content, TikTok content, LinkedIn content. Become a producer yourself within that. Build something that's got your name in it. You can create an email list, you can create a blog, you can create products that you have on Seller or Amazon or similar, and then, but it's got your name on it, especially email list. Very, very important. That's number 2, own a platform. Number 3, own systems. I can't emphasize this enough. Your economic system, your economic machine has three modules. Your economic system, it has 3 modules. Module 1 is a system that brings in consistent daily income. Underline daily income. because cash flow is the blood of wealth. Cash flow is the blood of your wealth system, of your money system, of your money machine. Without cash flow, your money machine will die. That's why you need a system, first of all, that will generate cash flow on a daily basis. Why daily? Because you spend money daily. You buy food, you buy things daily, you pay daily. Therefore, you should earn daily. Whoever designed the system such that you now believe that you can only earn money once in a month, it's a wicked system. We were not designed to earn money only once in a month, called salary. You can earn money every day. And today, AI and technologies and the internet make it extremely possible to earn money on a daily basis. The second module of your money machine is managing money. When money comes in, how do you allocate it? And then this is how you can tell if you have a very solid economic machine. That module number 2, which is managing money. Here's how you can tell. If you get a windfall today, or maybe some money comes into your account today, and it stays in that your account for 1 hour, you don't have a system. Because if you do have a very good system, as soon as the money drops in your account, on your wallet, it's already automatically allocated. This one is going straight into buying stocks that I'm holding for life, because there are stocks I will never sell. I'm holding them, not even for my life, throughout. Because they are established. These ones will still be there in another 50 years' time. Look at Apple. Since 1970s, it's still here. Apple is still going to be there. It's still going to be there for a while. Okay, but of course, I'm monitoring the fundamentals of those companies. So I'm just saying that as soon as the money comes, there's one that goes here, there's one that goes into philanthropy, into giving. I already know who I'm going to give, where I'm going to give. In fact, in my giving system is not random. Even though it's directed by the Spirit, but there are some regulars. There are some regular classes of giving that I don't think twice. So there's a system allocating that. The third subsystem, the third module, is the multiplying system. Now, how do you multiply your money? And of course, the dividends of that multiplication funnel back, cycle right back into the first part of the machine. So that's how you design and automate your own systems, okay? So automate your income. Don't trade time, trade solutions. Number 4, own tools. What is it that you rent every day and that you rent? It might be small and then little money that you keep paying subscriptions for, maybe like software or something or whatever. Or maybe there's a local solar grid. You continue to pay solar. But let me even say a very, very simple one. Inflating your tires is such a big deal these days. It's such a big deal. My goodness. Not long ago in Nigeria, inflating your tire was 50 naira. And before our very eyes, inflating a tire went to 100. Before we could open our eyes, it's gone to 200. Now, in some places, they charge 500 naira to inflate a tire. So, guys, I bought a tire inflator. I got one. And so, if my tire needs that, I can, along the road, instead of looking for somebody who will hold me to ransom, I have it. So, simple tools like that. Simple tools like that, you can buy. It means a lot. Because if you use it that often, then you should own it rather than rent it. Number 5, your own knowledge. Learn to monetize what you know. Especially for us seniors listening to me. You have more money than you realize. You're sitting on gold. More gold than you realize. You are 67, madam. You've raised children successfully. You're a grandmother of 8 children, 8 grandchildren. you still live with your husband. You've been married for 50 years. That's wealth of knowledge that you can sit down and start running marriage enrichment webinars, and people pay. Or you build an online course. When they see you, I say, this is 68-year-old woman who has had very successful experience building her family, like the virtuous woman that Solomon's book was describing. You are that kind of a person. There are tens of millions of young women all over the world that will find it very useful. Monetize your knowledge. Even that one alone, did you know that that can give you up to $100,000 a year that your current pension cannot? If you start that, for instance, and start earning money, and I'm going to show you how to do that, you won't touch that your pension. You won't even remember that you have pension because you have so much cash flow. And then you have enough to also do some of those projects that have been in your heart. As a 68-year-old grandma, you want to run an orphanage. You want to visit schools. You want to provide sanitation products or sanitary products for young girls in your local government. You want to build a library. How will you do it without your mega pension? But when you monetize your knowledge in this way, you can make more money than you can spend. And then that's now what you funnel into impact projects. Okay. Then number 6, own assets, stocks, land, business equity, intellectual property. So in fact, let me make this very simple to you. Let me simplify it because that's what I did. Many years ago, I sat down and said, listen, if I'm going to use anything, something I'm using every day, I will not be renting it every day. I will own it. So I decided to use the stock market to implement that philosophy. You know how I did it? I use the telephone every day. So I buy data, I buy voice, I subscribe to that every month. So I woke up one day, I said, no way, I cannot be a renter. I want to be an owner of this telecoms company. Same money that I would have used to continue to buy data and buy airtime every single month, I invested in that telecommunication company. I bought their shares. Now, as I talk to you, the dividends from those shares cover my airtime because now I'm an owner. All that time I was just cannibalizing my capital, using my active income to buy that. I said, no, I want to be an owner. And so through the stock market, I became a shareholder in that company. Number 2, I use banking services every day. And then these banks, they charge all kinds of things. And they wake up one day, they said, the central bank said they should be charging this and all that. So they charge all those. So one day, I woke up, I bought the shares in those banks. Now, what the bank pays me, what the banks pay me in dividends, cover for all those charges by multiples and more. So now, I'm not just paying the bank. I'm not just consuming their services. I am an owner. So that's why you will never hear me complain with you about the bank charges. Because when they charge you, I make money. Because I'm an owner and you're a renter. Now, I did that for all the things that I use. Now, I was telling you just a while ago about not just having a YouTube channel or consuming YouTube. Become an owner in YouTube. So today, you can buy Google. Don't you see how beautiful this thing works out? And then if you use iPhone, why are you just a renter? Just consuming iPhone. You love the phone, you show off everybody you're using iPhone 21. And then you're happy. But you are just a tenant in somebody else's empire. So don't come there. I'm not impressed. You own iPhone 21 and you are showing it off and all that with whatever. And you don't own Apple. I don't want to call you names here because I don't know if the algorithm will like it. There's a name I would have liked to call you. It starts with D. then it's followed by U, and then there's M. I won't tell you the remaining letter. The remaining letter. You can figure it out. You are boasting about your iPhone, but you don't have any stake in Apple. You are not an owner, you are a renter. So you are DUM, put the remaining letter. Okay, so what I've been telling you is motivational, but it's not really motivational, it's mathematical. Because motivation will stir you up, but mathematics will set you free. Okay? So if you are 40 and above, you've got 25 to 30 active years left behind to build legacy. It's not late. So much can change for you if you make this mindset shift. So much can change for you within a very short time, within 2 to 5 years. Because money is not time. It's not about 10 years. Money is leverage. Money is wisdom. Applying the wisdom, applying knowledge, gives you leverage. And the question I want to leave with you tonight, all of you, I need you to consider this very carefully. Will you rent your way into the grave, handing over your best years to systems you never owned? Please let me ask it again, and I would like every single person to answer that question. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and answer this question. Will you rent your way to the grave, handing over your best years to systems that you never owned? Type your answer. It's okay to say yes. It's okay to say yes. It's okay to say yes. But I don't know why anybody should do that. I don't know why anybody should listen to this and still be a renter and rent your way to the grave. Even your grave will be rented, because you can't be buried as an owner. I hope you know that. No renter is buried as an owner. See, the way they bury the owner is different from the way they bury renters. Have you noticed the difference? There's a cemetery. Somebody, a young girl, a neighbor lost her daughter, many years ago, the saddest thing. And so we just went to one cemetery. They were poor, they were struggling. So we took the body to that cemetery to bury her. When we got there, the undertakers, they just found the space and then you could see human skulls right there and body remains. Because what they used to do, once a new body goes there, they just dig a space. It doesn't matter that other people, somebody else have been buried there. They just dig them up and put the person there. That's how to be buried as a renter. Different from the owner. So I'm glad that all of you said no, that is not what will happen to you. So I need you to choose ownership. I need you to choose freedom. The good news is that there is more than enough. Your becoming rich does not stop my becoming rich. So envy, malice, jealousy, unhealthy competition in the world is totally unnecessary. To the point that even now, some husbands are competing with wives, wives are competing with husbands, siblings are competing, employees are competing. So because of that scarcity mindset that is not enough, you're becoming wealthy does not stop me. My becoming wealthy, my succeeding does not stop your own success, does it? If I'm doing well, it doesn't stop you. If you are doing well, which is why I'm doing this, do you know that if you do well, I will automatically do well? Do you know if you do well, I will automatically do well? Because none of you who becomes a billionaire using the things and principles I'm teaching you will meet me on the road, trekking, and refuse to give me a lift. Will that happen? No. So Zig Ziglar said, the late Zig Ziglar, I was listening to him, when he was alive, he said that you can have anything that you want in the world if you help enough other people get what they want, that thing is one of the most powerful spiritual principles, because I am being blessed as a result of this. Even though you're not giving me money, but I am being blessed every day tremendously because I am giving. Give, and it shall be given unto you. So don't be afraid of ownership. It's not a zero-sum game. If you have 1,000 houses you buy 1,000 houses, it does not affect me. The houses will not finish. There are always opportunities every day. That you buy 1,000 houses does not affect me. If I want, all of us can have 1,000 houses. Did you know they say we are 8 billion people in the world? Do you know how many galaxies exist? They haven't been able to count the number of galaxies. Ours is just the Milky Way. And in our own Milky Way, they have counted hundreds of billions, if not trillions of stars. In our own solar system, we have how many planets? They keep discovering. That's just the one that their equipment have seen. But do you know that each of us, there are so many stars and planets in this galaxy that each of us alive today can own 200 billion stars or planets to our name, and then there will still be more than enough. Because the God who made this universe didn't make it out of scarcity. So don't be afraid of ownership. It's a flawed philosophy when people say, if I buy 50 hectares, that poor people will not. Who told you? If poor people want to buy, there will be 50 hectares somewhere. There's more than enough. If we don't have enough, we go to the desert. We go to desert and then and turn the desert into beautiful vegetation. They did it in China. So there's no lack. Don't have scarcity. Be an owner. I hope you've got value tonight. So this is where we're going to end it for this week. This is Friday. And this happens every weekday. All right. I would love to read your aha moment. What was an aha? I really need you to tell me, what was your aha moment today? And what are you going to do about it? Tell me that this was valuable for you, and just let me know what was memorable for you. So I'll read a few of them before we call it a weekend. First of all, thank you for capturing some of those points. Very good. Very good. Hi, Seda. I can see you. Hello, Avi. Yeah, good day as well. All right. Awesome. Yeah, Ade. Everything you rent is someone else's cash flow machine. Absolutely correct. All right, what are your aha moments? Okay, so let me read a few of them. Nelson says, just imagining a poor man's grave is sickening. Experiencing it will be next to hell, especially after hearing such a wisdom-packed message from you. Absolutely. Festus says, the poor rent time. Renting my time for wages must end. Absolutely. Tochku says, you can have anything you want in this world if you help enough other people achieve theirs. Fantastic aha moment. Chikezie says, lift others and be uplifted. Absolutely. Chidema says, become an owner, not renter. Dominic says, renting my time for wages. Elizabeth says, my aha moment is cash flow is the blood of your money machine. Absolutely. Peter says, how do I join your class? You can join the wait list. The link to the Telegram wait list is in the description of this video. Just click there, join it, and then you will know exactly when the next one is happening. Augustine says, aha moment is renting is the DNA of poverty. Absolutely. Everybody here must become an owner after this. And Chimezie says, renting is the DNA of poverty. Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I love you all. Whatever happens, keep showing up because you never know what's coming your way next. And you have a brilliant weekend. I'll see you same time Monday evening. Good night.